tell us a little bit about your sustained greatness, just if you could.
Yeah. Um, I've been fortunate to be with the same group for a long time, and when I was a young player, I just looked up at all the older guys, and thinking about Michigan, it was such a team environment. I think that was so stressed for our team, and I really thought so much about the team and bought into so much of the team, and I think pro football is a little bit different because so many players are changing, but I felt like I always brought a team aspect to wherever I wanted to be because that's where I kind of got the most gratification. So I looked up to Teddy, Lawyer, Drew, Kevin Falk, all of our best players, and I just tried to watch them and emulate them. And I worked with Mike Wojcik, and he would meet me up in the bubble on Friday mornings at 6 o'clock when everyone else was going to, get ready for the meetings, and I was just trying to catch up physically to a lot of other guys who were a lot further ahead of me. Those guys I play with, James Hall and Ian Gold and Dahani, that were great college players and ended up being great pro players too. But I just felt like I needed a lot of things physically to improve and just try to work as hard as I could. And, those parts were never easy for me, although I enjoyed them. I think the easy parts for me, I've always felt like my leadership or my ability to find the right tweak for a guy to get him motivated, and obviously trying to compete at the highest level. And those are some of the things that came by a little more naturally for me. So just a lot of things that came together in a very unexplainable way, and just being in the right place at the right time, and great coaches like you and Dick Rabine and Ivan and Dante and Brad Seeley and Eric and so many of these coaches that have had such a big effect on my life.
That's great. And we go way back, and I want to appreciate, thank you for my 2 Super Bowl rings, by the way.
Thank you, man.
17 years ago, almost to the day, you had your first Super Bowl experience. Explain how this is different. I know, shoot, you're married, you got a family, you got all this and this, but is the preparation different or is it the same?
I think the preparation is, it's different, but it's in some ways easier for me because I'm very efficient with what my routine is. I think when I was a young player, you're watching tape and you're studying, you're going through things, but you don't really know what you're looking for. And now I have a plan every time I want to sit down to study, and how to understand an opponent, how to understand coverages and how they work, and how to understand how to put together with Josh, a plan that we can have a lot of confidence in. So I was so young and naive, and as a young player, I'm probably a little less naive now, and but I still love the competition. I still love, trying to win football games, and it's probably the first love of my life, thankfully, and I'm still enjoying it now.
Yeah, speaking of great challenges, you've got one in front of you. Those 2 great tackles, Sue and Donald,
Yeah.
and then you have a Hall of Fame coach,
Yeah.
Wade Phillips, you're going against.
Yeah.
I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that challenge, and then it's got to keep you up at nights looking at that defense?
Yeah, I think you realize that when you play great defenses, they're going to make their plays. I've focused this week so much on, not making a bad play worse, and just trying to really concentrate when the ball's in my hands, and, not losing the ball. I mean, Sue's done such a great job, not only getting to the quarterback over the years, but knocking the ball off the quarterback. Aaron Donald does that better than anyone in the league at this point. Fowler got it off me in Jacksonville this year. Kind of the play of the game in that game. So Rocker's a hell of a player. Ebby Khan's a great player. So they definitely have a great D-line. We're just going to have to hang in there and fight them out all day and try to be as competitive and stay balanced. So you just can't become a 50, 60 pass game and just let them tee off on you because, they're too good of rushers. And with Akeem, and Marcus Peters, who are great interceptors, I mean, you can't be sloppy with the football. And, it's a huge challenge. I mean, that's why you get to the Super Bowl and you play the teams that are the best defenses and have the best coaches. And, Wade's obviously, an incredible coach, an incredible coordinator. And it's just, that's what these heavyweight bouts are all about. Hopefully we can make more plays than them.
Absolutely. Last one here. And I've seen the best and the worst. I've been on the other end. You with the ball with 2 minutes to go, on a last drive. I've seen some great ones when I was on your team. And then I saw a couple bad ones for the last play of the games. Tell me about your mindset. When you get there, there's not a better quarterback ever to play, to have the ball in those situations. How do you keep calm and just tell us a little bit about that?
I think I've always looked at that as an opportunity. Because if you're losing with 2 minutes left, what's the worst that could happen? You're already losing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of a no-win. It's a win-win situation. I mean, if you lose, well, we're already losing.
Right.
If you got a chance to go back and win and make the plays, then that's what everyone's going to be talking about the next day. So you figure, you know what, man, I got a chance to be a hero. I got a chance. This is what sports are made of. This is when everyone wants to take the last shot. And I think our team has always responded to those situations, whether it was 2001 playing against the Rams. I mean, so many great players making plays in those situations, and it's carried over for a long time. We put a lot of emphasis on it. I mean, I think we practice it, multiple times a week, and then when it comes up, that's your opportunity to, to go show everyone what mental toughness really looks like. So just proud of our team and executing at the highest level when it matters the most. And, these games, for one reason or another, always come down to, defenses, I would say, getting a little tired at the end. And, typically the offense that has it at the end, has been the one that, goes down and wins the game.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
I'm still ready for a lot of blitzes. I know. I look at him and I just think all the variations of BS blitzes he can bring me in.
Hey, if you're not lying, you're not trying.
I know. Good to see you, Robbo.
Tom, just a basic question to start, Tom. How was practice today? What was it like to get on the field today and go at it for a while?
Yeah, I think it was good for all of us to just get out there and burn some energy and, review a lot of things in the plan and still, tweaking things. There's still a lot of things that need to be, that we practice that, we just gotta just keep adjusting. So it's really only Wednesday. I'd say 60% of the game plan on a normal Wednesday is not even installed at this point. So we've already had a chance to install most things, but I think everyone just wants really good practices and try to, build a lot of confidence and anticipation with what we're doing. And, again, we're going up against great defense. They're going to give us a lot of challenges, and it's going to be great execution that's going to, ultimately be the factor of how many points we're going to score.
Tom, this is David Andrews and Shaq Mason grow in their time blocking for you.
Those are two great players, and both played here in the state of Georgia. David at UGA, and then Shaq, where we're practicing now at Georgia Tech, and they got a great relationship, had a great rivalry, and the fact that they get to play together now is, very cool. They make a great, between the two of them, their communication and camaraderie as players is very unique and special. So they're great players. They're ready for any matchups. They deal with, big guys. They deal with quick guys. They deal with a lot of movement. They deal with a lot, and they take a lot of pride in it. And, there's just incredible players that bring so much to our team.
Do you feel like David's grown up in his relationship with you specifically since he was a rookie and stepped into that role?
Yeah, I've been so fortunate over the years, to play with, Mike Compton, Damian Woody, Dan Copen, Ryan Wendell, Dan Connolly, Ryan Stork, and David. And it's such a unique relationship we have. I got my hands on their butt, for 70 plays a day. So, that just brings a unique quality to a relationship right there, a lot of trust. And, we just have so much fun together. I think our communication is so important to what we're doing. And, I love all those guys. I think about some great memories with all of them. And, David's just had an incredible career since he's been here and kind of held that position down, has learned, grown, given more responsibility as a team captain. And, I love David. I can't say enough good things about him, what he means to our team. And, he's got a great career ahead of him.
Question for you. Did you know that you are related to the Expos just like Jared Goff's father and Patrick Mahomes' father?
Is that right? Well, I know I'm related to the Expos, and I like that hat. You don't see too many of those around anymore.
In Montreal, we do.
Yeah, it's a great organization.
Tom, your running game has gone from
it's more from solid to just dominant the last few weeks. And
Yeah.
it's kind of changed the personality of smash mouth. You're picking up 7-8 yards and gobbling up clock.
Yep.
How impressed even have you been by it, and how key has it been to you getting here?
Well, it's been, I mean, there's been a lot of factors. I mean, I wouldn't put many above that. And I think our ability to run the ball and control the clock and to set the tempo for the game. We talk about being a tough physical team, and that always starts with running the football and stopping the run. And if you can play physical in the run game, you know, it obviously sets up play action. It obviously sets up a lot of shorter yardage situations. You know, staying in third and short is, the percentages of conversion is so much higher than being in 3rd and 9. So all of it plays a role. We got to be efficient in whatever you do. Run it, throw it. You know, this game's about being efficient and, you know, not going backwards and, you know, no negative plays. And it's just this team challenged you because they are one of the best in the league at those things. And that's why, again, that's why they're in it. And they're going to make their fair share of plays. I think we all understand that. I mean, it's like when you play great offenses, you know they're going to gain yards. But you got to make plays at critical times. And, you know, if we get some situational opportunities, you know, 2-minute drive and short yardage situation, we just got to convert, and we got to get the job done.
You've learned how to really block out all these distractions and not create distractions for yourself. You really know how to lock it down now. What can you share with your younger teammates about that?
Well, I think it's just that we're here to win a game, and you know, there's a lot of other things that can happen over the course of this week, but the reality is it's just locking in on what our job is, as much film, as much physical and mental preparation as you can, and you know, that's what we got to do.
You guys are the best in the business when it comes to blocking out the noise, but I also notice you guys will use anything and everything as motivation as well. How do you walk that line?
Well, I think, you know, motivation is obviously comes from within, and then you get a few logs thrown on the fire from time to time, and that helps too. So I don't know, man. It's about bringing it every day, and whatever you got to do, whatever you got to get yourself to this emotional, mental place. You know, it's a good place to be for an athlete.
These Super Bowls are so long, all right? They're so long, and you know they're so well at this point. You never have a chance to just relax for a second. They're a test in mental and physical toughness.
Yeah.
How big is that mental toughness piece?
It's huge because, you know, to keep your concentration for a long period of time, this is almost, it's just a tough game. There's a lot of stoppages. It's a long halftime. It's a long pregame. I mean, you're on the field a long time. So I just not pacing yourself, but also not wasting energy, you know, 20 minutes before the coin flip, you know, in this emotional frenzy, because, you know, it's going to be hard to sustain that. So I just think, you know, ultimately when the ball's kicked off, it's a normal game, and we got to go out there and execute really well. And, you know, both teams have the challenges. It's a little different game than what we played in, but, you know, we got to be able to meet the challenge.
Are your hands ready to carry a 6th Super Bowl ring?
Are my hands? You know, this is obviously, if we win, you know, that would be an incredible achievement for our team. And, you know, one of the incredible achievements is a great remembrance, and that's, you know, a Super Bowl ring. And, you know, we want to play for those rings. That's what being a competitor is all about. And, you know, our team has established very high standards. And, you know, you can't win a Super Bowl ring in September, October, November, December, or, you know, many times January. You can win it in only 1 month, and you can't buy it. It's something that's earned, and if you win it, it takes a huge effort. And I think that huge effort is what you remember more than anything, because it's, you know, it's a lifetime achievement that is through a lot of hard work and commitment and dedication over a long period of time.
Napped a couple times early on in Super Bowls on that day because
Yeah.
it's so long. Do you still nap?
It's been changed a little bit, because they used to do the big pregame show, and you would have a lot of time, I don't know, 40 minutes sometimes. It's not like that anymore, so it's more typical, I would say, of a normal game, although, you know, there's still a longer pregame.
And have you ever spoken to the team, but not Saturday night. What's that Saturday night like for you guys? A lot of athletes, football players, would say it's one of the best times because the team's together. You know, and you're almost looking ahead to tomorrow. But is Bill giving motivational speeches? Have you ever got up and spoken to the team?
We've done a few different things over the years. I'm not sure how to go this year. I think, we'll just see where we're at emotionally, and everyone wants to get a good night's rest. It's a long day. It's a lot of anxiety built up. So everyone's just got to find a way to get to, a good frame of mind, and then you got to cut it loose when it's your opportunity.
How do you spend that day?
A nice compliment today. I just mentioned to him that the idea of discussing a contract extension with a quarterback who's going to be 42 entering next season is unusual. You don't see it that often. And he said, well, I'd be quite surprised if he's not playing for quite longer than that. I'm just curious.
More than 45?
Well, no, past 42.
Oh, past 42. I obviously, I've talked about that for a long time, and I think just part of me being a lot of the work that's been done, over the last 15 years with Alex has given me that opportunity, and I feel like that's something that I owe to myself to see how I can keep pushing the envelope, because it is very uncharted territory, and I think when you're in uncharted territory, you're trying to prove things to yourself too. And I'm very confident in my routine, and I feel great this time of year. I got nothing I'm dealing with, and it's part of it is just being in a good place mentally and physically.
Because it's uncharted territory, a lot of people might doubt it. The fact he isn't doubting it, I was curious what your reaction is to him saying, I don't have any doubts that he'll be playing for quite a while.
Yeah. I hope, again, I sure hope I can. It's a big task. It's a big commitment. And I'm obviously want to make that commitment. And I've talked about that for a long time, as that being a goal. And I think you set your goals high, and you don't waver. And you make decisions that are in line with your priorities. And I think when you make those decisions, it's a really conscious decision to say, okay, no, this is a very high priority. If I'm going to accomplish this goal, these are the steps I need to take. And I think I've improved that efficiency over the years. And, I don't, the reality is I don't think many people thought I would be playing like this, even though I had a great belief that I would. And, I think, RKK has always supported me in my beliefs and thoughts. And, that's why we have a great relationship.
Family question. How's your mom doing?
My mom's doing really well, and she's coming in on Friday. I'm excited to see her, buddy. So she's doing great.
They're going to be here, your mom and your dad, on Sunday.
Yeah.
The whole family.
Yeah, whole family, all my nieces and nephews, and my in-laws are coming. So it's going to be my Brazilian connection, my California connection, and it'll be a great. A lot of support, a lot of friends.
How much does that mean to you now? We talk about support, considering your kids are older, your nieces are older, they get to appreciate it much more.
Yeah.
So this game must be extra special in that regard.
Yeah, my kids are excited, to come to the Super Bowl. And you're right, they're at an age where they understand so much more, and it's really fun for me to have them and talk to my son Jack about the game and what he thought of the game. And Dad, what were you doing on this play? Like, why didn't you just do this? It's like, and he watches football, and his buddies talk about football. So that's just a great thing for a dad, for all of us, when our kids are interested in what we're doing. And my son Benny, I don't know if he'll watch one play in the game, but the fact that he gets popcorn and a bunch of junk food, is I think what he looks forward to. And Vive, she's a little cheerleader. So she'll tell me, Daddy, did you hear me? I said, go, Daddy, go. And I said, of course I heard you. So the kids, they bring so much perspective to our lives, and they're so, just the most beautiful things in our life, so joyful, and the fact that they're getting older and they get to share this with me is really creating so many memories, obviously for them, but for me too, in ways that were very different when I was younger. So it's really a cool thing for them to be able to be here watching.
how Julian Edelman's played this year, coming off that surgery.
Yeah.
And seems like he's a lot more vocal, especially we saw him in the Chiefs game, yelling, "You're too old."
Julian's very vocal when the camera's on. In fact, I want him to mic up for practice so that he can bring that level of intensity of practice. But no, he's had an incredible year, and just dealing with the adversity of his knee and not playing the first 4 weeks, and then coming in and basically taking over, and had really a career year. And then what he's done in the playoffs is really spectacular. So nothing surprises me with Julian. I think he's just a great competitor. I think he's another guy that he's been around for a long time, and nobody works harder than Julian to try to be the best he could be for our team. So I'm just so proud of him and everything he's accomplished. He works for everything. He's got just a great work ethic, a great mental attitude. And, hopefully he can go out and have his best game of the year.
Over the years, you've been referenced in a lot of song lyrics. I know Lil Wayne's rapped about you a bunch of times. What does it mean to you to be a part of rap history, pop culture history in that way?
That's always pretty cool. That's always really cool. I think, I'm a big fan of so many of those guys, and I know they're, I have a lot of friends I've met over the years that are fans of what we do too. So I just appreciate, people that love what they do, and, musicians are certainly, the same way. They live, dream, think about music all day long. It's in their head, and I think for so many ways that's me too. I mean, I think about football and plays and schemes and all day long. So I think that mutual appreciation and admiration is very flattering.
Remember the first time you ever heard your name in a song?
No. What was the first one?
I think it was That's All I Have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
First, like, big.
Yeah.
How do you spend those last hours before the game?
Thinking about Aaron Donald globally, you've seen some of the greatest players in the history of the
Yeah.
game defensively. Is there anything specifically he does better, differently than anybody else?
He does everything better than everyone else. He's incredibly explosive. He's got a great motor. He's got a variety of moves. He's an incredibly difficult matchup. So he's got great leverage. So he's got the power, but he's got the speed, and he's got a great burst. I've gone against a lot of great pass rushers. I mean, from Jason Taylor to Michael Strahan to Terrell Suggs to Von Miller, J.J. Watt, Richard Seymour, and Aaron's right up there with those guys. So he's one of the best to ever play the game.
Talk fast about not sure if you're going to want to coach whenever it is that you're done. Have you given it any more thought and made a decision?
About coaching? I haven't. I would never say never, but I would say that's. I never say never about anything, but I've never really thought about that as a goal. But things could change. I don't know. I know, but I think I'd get frustrated because I would see someone do it and I'd be like, what are you doing? Whereas normally I'm the one doing it. And sometimes I do that to myself, when it's a bad throw or a bad read. But I don't know. I've learned a lot from our great coaches. From Coach Belichick all the way down to Josh, Charlie, Billy, all the guys that I've worked really closely with. They have great styles, great strength, and in this game you need great coaches. They work so hard to put us in a position to succeed, and I've had so many great coaches over a long period of time.
My mentor right now on WhatsApp, I will push for you. Have you caught yourself doing anything different going into last year's Super Bowl, into this year's Super Bowl?
No, I'd say it's pretty similar. I was dealing with, my thumb injury, for that entire 2 weeks, which was a little bit frustrating. I think I've been really excited this year that I've been able to practice every day. So the physical preparation has really matched the mental preparation, and which I wish, it always gives you a little more confidence when you're practicing and doing those things. And the fact that I've been able to be out there with the team has been really great for me.
talk about Julian. As a former quarterback, you guys aren't really known for loving contact necessarily, but he seems like he seeks it out on the field rather than avoids it. Have you ever seen anyone play like that? I mean, you've seen it for so long now, but even like the Chargers game, it's the fourth quarter, and he's diving into guys up 20 points.
I know, he's got a physical style of play, and I think he enjoys mixing it up. And he's got a great, playing strength about him. He always has. He's been very physical route runner, even for his size. You don't think of Julian as a big guy, but Julian is, he's got a great center of gravity. He's got, a lot of core strength. So he plays much bigger than his frame. And, that provides a huge benefit to our team.
Did the throw bother you more than you let on last year, before the game?
What did I let on? I don't remember.
You said it wasn't bothering you. You said by the time you started back practicing it was okay.
Never bothered me. Yeah.
Never bothered you in the game?
I mean, I would have preferred not to have it. I had a bunch of stitches in my hand, but by the game I was feeling pretty good. Just the practices, leading up to the practices and stuff, that you don't quite have all your adrenaline there, so when you have a wound, it's not ideal.
About your relationship with Bill time and time again, but some of the things you were just saying, could you imagine at this point in your career maybe not playing for Bill because of such a comfortable relationship?
Yeah, I think it's such a hypothetical, I think it's kind of pointless, because we have a huge degree of trust in one another, and I know he's working every day to make our team the best it possibly can. I'm trying to do the same, and it's just we've been together for so long. We've in a great way. I've learned so much from him. I've just tried to be what I think a quarterback should be for a team, and like I said, I'm so happy I have great coaches that I can count on, that I trust, that I rely on. And between Josh as my offensive coach, we have such a great relationship, and how I interact with him and how much I trust him and what he sees, and to call, exactly what he thinks is going to be the best thing. I mean, it's a great comfort for a player.
On your own terms as a team. It starts with running the ball offensively in so many ways. Can you remember a postseason where 2 games in, you've been able to play both games really on your own terms, starting with running the football?
Yeah, that was good. To get off to a good start in both those games is really critical. Obviously, at Kansas City, we lost that lead. And this is a little different game, too. I mean, it's such a long game. You're going to have to play great, basically 4 hours of football. And you'd love to start fast, provide some margin of error, but we were down a bunch a couple years ago to the Falcons, and it worked out pretty good. So whatever it takes, man, you got to have mental toughness to just fight on and keep fighting. And, eventually the clock's going to hit 0.00 at one point, and, that's the time where you need to lead.
How do you think Tom Brady had the same success even without Bill Belichick? And what have been the main teachings from Belichick to you?
I mean, to have the same success without the greatest coach doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, he's an incredible coach, and I think, players need coaches and coaches need players, and he can't do my job and I can't do his job. And I think, it's just been a great partnership, great relationship we've had, and I've enjoyed it from the time that I got here. And he's a great coach, been a great mentor. I'm sure all the players that have played for him, have a great deal of respect for Coach Belichick and everything he's brought to our team.
Remember one big anecdote? Remember, could you tell us about a big anecdote with him someday?
With Coach Belichick and I? I feel like all those stories have been told. I mean, we've been together for a long time. Our routines are kind of what they are, and we meet and we talk about football and what we need to do to help get the job done.
Tom, you came to Japan and you tried Japanese sumo 2 years ago.
I did.
Yeah. Do you have a message for Japanese fan?
That was one of the best experiences of my life. And I had my oldest son there with me, and he was in the sumo stable with me. And I have so much respect for that sport and the tradition and the history of the sport, and those athletes and the commitments they make to, as the national sport. I mean, they're incredible athletes, and it's such a disciplined sport. And there's so much respect for your opponent, and respect for the kind of the place of the competition. And I hope I can do it again someday. Yeah, thank you.
You spent the last couple of hours before the game to make sure that you're mentally and physically fresh, given how late the late start time and all the anticipation.
I try to just, have destimulate as much as possible. I don't put the TV on. I don't put maybe some soft music. Try to keep it dark. Just try to rest and not get my heart rate up. And that's really it.
Is that the same that you've done? Has that evolved, or is it kind of the same process that you've done for this game, out all night?
It's always a little different. So, yeah, it's always a little different. Because you had some early starts. We played in Arizona. We played, honestly, on the East Coast. Played Central Time. It's always been a little different.
You mentioned 28 degrees. Have you heard from any Falcons people or fans down here, hotel workers?
No, nothing.
No, really?
Nothing.
Surprised by that?
I haven't been out and about much, so I haven't come across too many Falcon fans.
Can you take me back to 17 years ago and just your thoughts, emotions, and gratitude during the national anthem before you go and play that game?
Yeah, that was quite a long time ago, but it's just been great experiences. And I think when you're always standing out there, it reminds me so much when I was a kid, when I'd watch the Super Bowl and they'd have the Star Spangled Banner going, and you'd see the players, and it's just very surreal to be one of those players now. So it was kind of surreal then. It's still surreal for me. As soon as that ends, you're ready to go. So that's when you kind of get in the football mode.
Hey Tom, what was it like getting back to practice today and kind of getting back to a normal week, as normal as you can get?
It was really good. It was good. It's good to just run around, and obviously, nothing in practice is ever perfect, so we've got some things that we're just working on, and I'm sure it'll go all the way through Friday.
You always talk about, you can tell kind of how practice goes throughout the week and the energy level. How was energy level? How were the guys to get back and try to get refocused, would you say?
I think guys are, as focused, as we can be, and, we're always trying to improve, and again, nothing's ever quite perfect, but it's good to be on the field and working on things that are going to help us win the game rather than working on things that aren't going to help us win the game.
Jared Goff is the same age now as when you won that first Super Bowl. So will there be times where you'll be curious watching him across the field in this game because you were there?
Yeah, I think he'll do a great job. He's a great young player, and that team has a great offense. They got a great system, well coached. Robert Woods, I think he's a hell of a receiver. Brandon Cooks, he knows how much I love and respect his game. One of the hardest workers I've ever been around. One of the most mature players for his age that I've ever seen. And they got a great offense. So
it's got to be fun for you to go against these guys who all want to get to where you are.
I have fun going against anyone. That's, I think, the reality. Whether it's Mahomes or Roethlisberger or Rivers or Breeze or it could be whoever. As long as I'm on the field playing, I'm loving it.
But you know what's going through these guys' minds because you were there. A long time ago, right? The young guns in this league.
Yep.
Hey Tom, how do you handle
players? Bill Belichick is absolutely hilarious. Now the general public kind of knows him as a serious guy, but what's the funniest thing Belichick has ever said to you?
I do appreciate his sense of humor, but I don't have too many stories.
Tom, how do you handle the media these days? You seem like you're very comfortable in this place, but it's going to be hard sometimes with all the questions that we're asking firing away. What kind of approach do you now take with these days?
Well, I got back after practice. I wanted to calm down a little bit because, you run around and there's a lot of energy and emotion at practice, and just did my treatment with Alex. And, calmed down a little bit, and then came down here. So, I mean, I've been doing these for a long time. I mean, 24 years going back to college. So, it's pretty cool to be here this day doing this. There's no place I'd rather be in the world.
Situation where you had to sit out 4 games. Julian's had to come back from both of those in the same season. How impressed are you with the way he's been able to play this year?
I'm so impressed with everything. Julian's an incredibly hard worker, and he's got a lot of mental toughness. And, to overcome the injury like he did was, most guys have kind of a down year when they come back from an ACL, and I wouldn't say Julian's really had that. I mean, Julian has been a big part of our offense since he came back, and I know he's feeling really healthy this time of year, and that's a good thing for our football team.
Based solely on the fact of who your head coach is, every time you take the field, do you feel like your team has an edge?
Absolutely. I feel like our coach is the best that's ever coached. Josh, is the best coordinator in the league. I think that gives us a great chance. And then we got to go execute it. So we have good plans. Now it comes down to our job to go execute them. We're going against a team that is going to be very challenging to execute against, but hopefully we have enough mental toughness to play for 60 minutes and try to make more plays than them. So thank you guys.